Hi there, I'm Andrew Karas, Chief Operating Officer at Engel and Volkers, Vancouver, and this is On Top of the Market. On today's episode, we had the pleasure of having Burkard and Tita Cool from our office join us and do a session we call 10 Questions With, where I got to ask them various questions about the real estate market today and also some personal history about themselves. Hope you all enjoy. Hi everyone, welcome back to On Top of the Market. This is episode 2. Today we're going to do something fun. I'm sitting here with Tita Cool and Burkard, two of our top advisors in the Yaletown office, and we thought it'd be fun to talk about some questions that you might want to answer for us. And so we're going to do a segment called 10 Questions With. And so we're going to start nice and easy, nice and slow, and then we're going to work into some more fun questions about whether it be the market or whether it be something to do with trends or things that you like to do in your own personal life. Cut that out. Okay.
Sounds
if we
good.
make a mistake, there's no problem with that.
Perfect.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. Thanks for coming on. Really appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks for having us.
Question 1. I'd like to know how long you guys have been in the market, or how long you've been in real estate, I should say, and what got you started into real estate to start with?
Well, that's you.
Okay, I'll start. I've been a realtor for 19 years, I guess.
Almost 20 years.
Almost 20 years, which seems crazy that it's been that long. And I don't really have any like wonderful big story about how I got into the business. And I didn't know anybody or have any family in the business, so it wasn't one of those sort of segues that was a natural fit. I was working for Umberto in the restaurant industry, and a lot of my customers who were either developers or lawyers or a couple of realtors just encouraged me, and I decided to order the books, and it was just one of those things that went for it, and yeah.
And we all can be thankful you did.
Yeah, so I'm glad that I did at the time. Who knew that the industry was going to be so fantastic, especially as something that you don't need to have a lot of. Yeah.
No, what I think we all find is that a lot of people come out of the hospitality business and get into real estate. It makes sense. It's a service business and so on. Mm-hmm. I have a very similar story. And in fact, we've been in the business exactly the same amount of time. Yeah. So we've known each other for a good long time and kind of grown up in the business together, which is fun. Look at us now doing podcasts.
On top of the market.
On top of the market.
Totally.
And Tita?
So for me, it was, I was working in the management fields for a while actually. So I was, aesthetic spa, and then went into Sephora Canada actually, which was great because I had the opportunity to help open up one of the stores here. And you know what? I think real estate at the time seemed like such a great thing to do with, having some time and like figure out your own schedule and just, all of the things that didn't happen. But it was good. I mean, you still get to figure out your own schedule, but you end up working quite a bit and long hours, and you put in what you get out in the end, right? So for me, it worked out really great, and it was, a great place to be.
And how long have you been in the business?
So it's been about 8 years now, going into 9 years.
Yeah, and you started in Alberta, correct?
I did start in Alberta, even though I'm from BC. Started in Alberta, came back over here now, which is awesome. BC's been great, and obviously Vancouver's just a really great market to be in. So
awesome. Yeah. Perfect. Question number 2.
Okay.
What advice would you offer someone new or coming into the industry? And what would you like to have known when you first started that you don't know? Or let me rephrase that. What did you not know then that you wish you knew?
Oh, that's a really good question. That's a really, really good question. Okay, so the first part of the question, I would say some advice would be, I think it's really important to be authentic and trust yourself, and know that it's just so easy to compare and to keep up with the Joneses, so to speak, with other realtors, and you can sort of get caught up in the should haves and all that. And I think that there really is a client out there and a realtor out there for everybody, and we all have individual personalities, and to just be yourself. And then I think really what you put in, you get out. You just mentioned that. I think with anything, and working, it's a tough business. And somebody said to me once in the beginning, and it was just such a simple statement, but it made weird, simple sense. It's not a hard job. It's just hard to do. And I think that you have to just keep going and put in the work, because it eventually all ends up coming around. And then I would say what it's taken me a really long time to really adapt is to just really relax when you're slower, and then to enjoy the time and know that the business is always going to come, and you're always going to have another deal and clients that are always going to be there. But when you're living on a commission basis, and we just put so much pressure on ourselves because you're running your own corporation. Nobody's there giving you a check at the end of the day. You're not on salary, so you really have to be. But it's just important to know that if you're doing a good job and you're a focused realtor, there's always going to be business coming. So that I think is something.
Don't stress in the slow times.
Yeah, and also the market. I mean, it's so easy to going back to the keeping up with the and comparing yourself to other realtors. I think it's just it's knowing that every realtor has their database has its own pulse and its own ebb and flow. And just because someone else is killing it and the market's super busy and you're slow doesn't necessarily mean that you're not gonna you can kick it up in the next month or two, and you just really have no idea. But just to have faith.
Yes.
And then when you're slow, just enjoy it and take the pressure off.
Yeah, you need to relax. You need to have the time off.
Go away, or
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Do you remember the question? Do you want me to read
I
it?
I do remember the question.
Yeah.
Starting out in the business, I mean, if I just looking back at myself, I was just like trying to work every single day and trying to maybe keep up with the Joneses. Who knows what that was? But I think it's just like you feel like a hustle behind you of having to, push really hard and work really hard and answer every phone call and stuff like that. But I agree with Katie in the sense that you need to have your own balance, and work life is so important, and that really does affect you down the road. So I would say just take the time to enjoy, but also, we're lucky here where we have a really good team around you. Like, it's okay to ask for advice, and it's okay to go to people. Like, the team here is pretty awesome that you can just pick up the phone and call anyone and they'll help you out. So don't feel like you have to do it on your own. But that would be me for sure. Yeah.
My dad, when I started in the business, said you have to build relationships, and that's not about with the client, it's about with other realtors in the business, because you're going to need them.
And that's so true.
And so you need to work on everybody else that you're
work together.
Yeah, work together.
Yeah, because we all have the same goal at the end of the day.
Right.
The outcome is really the same. And
and it's a knowledge-based business. So how are you supposed to learn when you're an independent contractor? You need to be able to bounce things off of one another.
You have to know. That's the thing in this business.
You have to know.
You have
competence.
Right?
Totally.
Competence.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Question number 3. What are some key lessons that you learned early in your career that has led to your phenomenal success?
Oh,
that's a good one.
I like how I added phenomenal.
Phenomenal. I'll take that.
Okay, another good question. I think early on I was excited about investing myself, and so I took some risks in the beginning, and I think in the first year or two of in 2003, and I was 23 at the time, and I squirreled my commission away, and I invested in pre-sales actually. Oh. And so that was sort of something, because this can be a great lucrative business, but it really takes years for you to have money and equity to be able to, it's people think we make so much money, but our overhead and taxes and expenses and everything, it's hard to accumulate and build that up. So I do, and then also I think from like being all in real estate, to be able to advise your clients properly as an investor yourself, or as somebody who's really involved in the buying and selling yourself. So I think that sort of helped me with confidence of dealing with clients, and also helped me leverage and be able to take bigger risks too in real estate investing.
So you're saying you took your own advice? You went and bought real estate.
Yeah, exactly.
Which actually I've seen a ton of people kind of in our 20 years that have done that, and it is quite amazing, because one thing that if you invest in what you know, then a lot of the time you build a wealth and a fortune on something else, then it helps you relax on the other thing a little bit. You need to be relaxed in this business. I mean, anybody who's a little bit too bent, too uptight about doing deals, sometimes that really wears off, right? Totally. And
I will say that it sounds easy and like to just make that blanket statement, but now it was different back then. You could do 5 or 10% down, and the deposit structures were different, and also pre-sales used to be a real good deal. Yeah. And people didn't really, you were taking such a risk, right? And now in the past, I would say like up to 10 years or so, it is harder to
the money's greater, but there's still always opportunity.
Yeah.
Right. Find that opportunity. Trust in what you're doing, I think, is a really good piece of advice, actually.
Yeah. And also one little other thing, always get back to people right away.
Yes.
I mean, it's such a simple thing, but I think that just there's so much respect there that people really value. And it does give you a little bit of psychosis that you can't like leave your phone alone, but I think it's important to not let people wait too long.
It's a huge part of the job, actually. I mean, this is a fast-paced business, right? It's getting more fast-paced every single year because of technology and whatnot too, right?
Yeah. So for me, kind of leading back to that is do what you say you're going to do. Like that's
follow through.
Yes, follow through with what I feel like for me that's been something that has really worked for me. Building the relationships was another huge thing for me. Like a lot of my clients trust me in a really great way. I mean, that took years of just constant communication and checking up and following up. And, you know, sometimes it's just about empathy. Like you don't know where people are at that time. So just give that time of yourself to be able to understand them on a different level and what their purpose and what their goal is rather than just transact. And I think a lot of people lose that in the business. So for me, it would be that. And then just, following through with what
integrity.
Totally. Love it. Honesty, integrity.
Empathy, genuine, you know, listen.
100%.
You gotta listen well. A lot of times,
Absolutely.
I mean, I think a lot of us have trouble sometimes listening to what people are telling us.
Right.
And usually they're giving you everything you need
Yeah.
to be able to make a successful transaction for them, right?
And remembering that they're trusting you with their life savings. And I think it's like nothing to be taken lightly too. You have to be so like, it's not a casual thing.
Right. No, it's not. This is a huge lifelong investment for most people that are getting into it. And so,
especially in Vancouver.
Especially in Vancouver. That's exactly right. Question 4.
Okay.
You guys ready?
Yep.
Jeopardy music. I need some Jeopardy music.
Yeah, exactly. We need to. It's like a game show. Do you have a mentor in the business? Real estate mentor?
Oh.
Anybody that helped you start your career that you can say, kind of give them a little credit?
You know, I would actually not specifically where it was an official mentorship thing, but I actually have to say, and this leads back to my investing in the pre-sales and stuff. Ken Leong was the first person that was working with the developer and the marketing company selling the hub on Main Street. We were just talking about that. And he was, I asked him advice because he just was like savvy and friendly and super cool. And he gave me some financial advice, and he was just, and then for the next 10 years, I just basically like followed him around and purchased wherever he purchased. Ken, what are you doing these days? Like, I think there was like 3 or 4 places that I had, and then we were neighbors actually at one point too at Collection 45, which is funny. So he was sort of he might not have known he was my mentor, but he was helpful in ways, but nobody specific. But I also do have to say that again, without him knowing, he might be my mentor. Would be Greg Karros as well here. I think I asked him to be my mentor one time, and he said no. No, I don't think it was like that necessarily, but just admire and look up to and respect massively in the industry for what he, where he's become and what he's created, or what he's become, and just such a like non-assuming, easy person, and just a great person all around. So
he's kind of been a mentor of mine too.
Yeah.
And funny enough, my other mentor I'd mentioned for myself is Ken Chong, who was from McDonald Realty for the exact same thing. Ken wanted to help the young people at McDonald Realty more than anybody I've ever met in my life. He's a super gentleman still to this day. If you call Ken up, he's going to help you, and he used to do the same thing. So he'd give people advantages. He'd always want to like tell you about the new thing and what was coming up.
So
and
great.
He wanted to see you succeed, and I know he's still like that. So shout out to Ken Chong and Ken Leong and Mary as well, and all the people that are involved in there.
Shout out. I love that.
Who's your mentor, Tita?
You know what? I'm lucky where I've been in coaching for quite some time. So for me, everybody in, not just my coach, but just everybody in coaching for me has been a mentor. But I actually look up to a lot of people in our office as well. I think there's a lot of top producers. And like I said, there's been times, Andrew, when I'm picking up the phone and just giving you a call, I'm just like, okay, what do we need to do? Like what's business wise, or just what's the next step, or when we need to go to bat for something or someone. So I think support and just having that. I think that to me is a huge thing. When you can give your time generously, I think is pretty amazing. I've met a couple of realtors like that in the industry too. So I'll go back to that as well. But yeah, I think I have a few different mentors, if that makes sense. Like
there's some really great people that are always willing to help in this industry. It's pretty
100%.
amazing actually.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about as you were talking to me, I was thinking about all the different people that I've worked with over the years and stuff, and like I try to mimic what people did for me when I started in the business. I mean, I was lucky. I had a lot of people in my corner because they knew me from when I was a kid, and they always wanted to help me, but I always kind of take that now, and I always want to try to help that next person to try to get up, and it's giving them confidence, right?
And you're very good at that too, by the way. You're very good in your role, your management role, and just call you anytime and bounce stuff off, and you've got such a good pragmatic, realistic approach to everything. And
I just don't know how I got here.
Well,
you know when you you get to a certain age and you've done a certain amount and you're like, how do I know this? You know, and then the questions come. You always have a story to go with it. I mean, all of this job is really about the experience that you gather through different things that you do, right?
Oh,
you try to bring it forward.
I just have to say one thing. We have a group chat. If for everybody out there, we have a group chat on WhatsApp, and every now and then we'll have some funny texts going through. But last night was a good one because it was someone who needed some management help.
Serious help,
yeah. It's some people throwing some stuff, which most of them were right, but it was just hilarious how everyone's like, okay, we need to wait till Andrew pipes in and go from there.
I thought it was interesting that I didn't get the call originally. It went straight into the chat, which shows you. It shows you the trust everybody has.
And everyone's like, we got it right.
Yeah,
it was hilarious.
No, it was pretty good.
No, it was cool.
It is great.
I think we've always had that here, so we're really lucky. But it, like I said, it stems throughout the industry if you find it in the right places, and there's certain people that are there. Next question.
Okay.
Next question. We got to keep going here. Strangest situation you've ever been a part of in real estate?
Strangest situation. Oh my. There's just been too many.
I'm laughing because I have.
Okay. We would have to revert to you because they probably all just blended, and you've got to be prepared for anything strange to happen, but I don't have one off the top of my head. What's yours?
Okay, so I still think about this one just because I'm always so scared of it happening again. There was this one time, it was a Saturday afternoon, and our clients were actually just ending a tour, and we walked into a property where it was silent. There was a lockbox. We went in, and all of a sudden we're going to the bathroom, and we're like walking in, and I'm showing them that it's a great, beautiful bathroom, and all of a sudden we just hear someone go, "Hey, who's that?" and open up the curtain, and someone was in the shower without the shower on, by the way, which was even more interesting. But we really didn't know. More than awkward. It was hilarious. So we slammed the door. We ran out of there. Needless to say, they didn't buy the property, but it was a show.
Wow,
it was
a little bit of an exhibition.
Perhaps.
Hilarious.
The shower wasn't even on. It was very bizarre, but it was funny. It was good.
Well, otherwise you wouldn't have walked into the.
No, at all.
How did the person react?
Just like, hey, not who's that, or I'm sorry, or oh my god, it was just hey.
Oh my god, that is a great story. There's a few of those like people being naked and.
Oh yeah,
so
I have a couple.
Mike Walton said that the tenants, one story, hilarious story, back when we were in Century 21. The tenants didn't want to sell, and so the guy answered the door naked.
That was his solution?
When Mike was standing there with the buyers, which is a pretty funny. What are you gonna do?
Like for sale.
I don't even know. I once had a sale that completed, and when we went to go get the property, it was a rental property. The listing agent was lovely, and it was her listing, and it was my buyers, and I had to go there with the buyers' parents because the buyers were out of town. Okay, so I've got the father who is already very protective of what his kids are paying for, and we open the door, and the tenant decided, like, he looks up, he goes, "Oh, is that this week?" And everything is everywhere, and everything's a mess. Nothing's cleaned up. He's just sitting there, and I was like, "Oh my God, no!" And Ruth, what was her name? Ruth Ellerman, I think her name was, and she did a wonderful job getting him out, but it took a few days, and it was definitely a situation that I don't want to have to repeat again. Let's put it that way.
No, that's funny.
Haven't had one since, so
no more naked guys in the shower.
No more naked guys in the shower.
Do you have any? Sorry, I've lost track of my questions here. Number 6. Question number 6. Is there anything, any moment that you can think that somebody went beyond the call of duty during a transaction that you'll just never forget?
I mean, I've had a few.
Many, yeah. I would say. I mean, I've had a couple of. It's been a challenging, for obvious reasons, year. There's been some, people are acting a bit strange out there, understandably, but you have to brace yourself. But Michelle Porter and Molly Lowe helped me sell my last place at the Jervis, and they I would say they went above and beyond and were amazing support. I was away for part of it, and it was just, they negotiated amazingly. I mean, of course, I know that's how they operate in their regular business, but it just felt like I had these two like rock stars in my corner.
A couple of angels in your corner, really.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And the outcome couldn't have been better. And I just felt very supported and loved and appreciated that so much. And we helped Molly sell her home too. And now we just have to get Michelle to sell her home. It'll all be
little trifecta.
But it was fun. And then we celebrated after, and it was just very heartwarming, I guess you could say.
That's a perfect story. Yeah, absolutely.
I've had a few. It's hard to pick one, I'd say, but you know what? I did have. It's actually not a transaction. It was a lawyer, who I didn't have. I needed some legal advice. It was a hard contract to deal with, actually, which we get those. It's not all glitz and glamour all the time, but it was a very difficult transaction. And Kushal Baines from Bell Alliance, actually, he was fantastic. It wasn't even his deal. It was a week before Christmas a couple years ago, and I'm like, oh my God, like help me, like what do we do? It was someone who didn't complete on my client's property, and of course no lawyers are answering their phone right now, and everyone's booked and busy. But he took the time out to call me later that evening. Actually, I had called him at like 3 p.m, and it was like 7:38, and he was slammed all day. And just called me and just said, hey, like, this is what I would recommend. Here's the person I'd recommend you to go to, and like go in there, chat with them, and good luck, and let me know if you need anything, which was one of the reasons why I constantly use him now. He was great.
So shout out Kushal. He's done that a number of times for me over the years too.
It's pretty great.
Where he's not even really on that file, but
it's going to start looking like Bell Alliance has advertising with us, because the first podcast I did, I mentioned Richard Bell, because he's obviously been really great during this time of year too. So anyway, I guess we can give a good shout out to Bell.
There you go. I mean, it's like full circle, right?
Every great realtor needs a great lawyer behind them, because you need to have a go-to. Absolutely. No question about it.
Yeah.
So let's get more into sort of conversations about the market, opposed to just talking about kind of, patting each other on the back as far as realtors. I guess is what we've been doing.
Naked guy in the shower stories.
Exactly. So I'll ask you this, okay? Hard time to invest in the city. If you had, let's call it $1.5 million to go buy a product somewhere in Vancouver or in Greater Vancouver, what would you do with $1.5 million?
$1.5 million. Oh, that's an interesting number, because it doesn't quite get you a detached house, and
that's kind of why I chose it, to be honest with you.
Okay, I think there is. I mean, I think the condo market, the downtown market, there's some opportunities there. Maybe if you were to split that up and buy 2 one-bedrooms, and rent them out, invest.
Actually,
Linden, obviously, our project that we're selling.
We have a project in North Van, actually, which is great. Like, we have a range from 1.2 going up to just under 1.8, and they're great product. The reason why is because they have, a few of them have the lock-up suites downstairs and rooftop patios, and the back are great entry-level investment properties. So if you don't get that, just to rent out the whole thing or just try to get into the market. From what I understand and what I'm hearing right now and what I'm feeling is that you're getting bought out of the 1.2, 1.3 in a single-family home, right? So what's the next best thing where you still get an investment and still get some cash dollars coming in?
A townhouse with a suite.
And that's also very new. I mean, the city's really just relaxed and
been able to add some of those.
More so in North Van.
More so in North Van, but with the a big size killer rooftop patio, and then a full garage with the charging station, and you've got the 3-bedroom, and then the rental suite, and only a 10-unit complex in Moodieville.
I was going to say, what part of North Van?
Which is a developing area.
So but you're 3rd and Ridgeway. Well, it's a really cool vibe down there right now. I'm finding that breweries, restaurants, like great amenities are doing this whole new revamp on the park too, which is really great. So again, investors are just entry level family. Sorry, try to say that 3 times. But I think entry level is a really great investment as well. So
great plug.
I mean,
well done.
You handed it to me. For sure.
We'll put a link. We'll make sure we put a link so people can get that information inside the thing.
There's some good incentives we're doing right now too. Just to
even better. Do you want to share?
So there's a $15,000 realtor bonus, and then there's also a $50,000 decorating allowance.
Wonderful.
With Bow Concept, by the way, too.
With what?
Stuff there.
Bow Concept.
Concept. Yes, absolutely.
And they're awesome.
Yeah,
Shout out to Louise Marsh, who's awesome.
More shout outs. It's going to turn into more.
Shout outs.
On top of the market, we're supposed to be talking about the market. We keep just shouting out other realtors' names and stuff like that.
She was great and allowed us to, help just, do some advertisement, and Bow Concept's a great little store.
I've seen renderings of the development and stuff like that. I got to get over there because I'd love to see exactly where it is and whatnot, because it does look really good. But to go back to what we just said, so downtown, it's funny because on the last, on top of the market we were trying to talk about opportunities for 2021. And it was Mike Ramp who was talking, and he brought up downtown condos. And what he mentioned was that there's never been a time where condos downtown have ever been like kind of going slow. Like they've always been a good market. Well, they've come down or been slower in price and stuff, not necessarily as going up. But right now there actually is real opportunity. And
it's
it will
changing
kick back.
though. It's picking up because I think pandemic, it was just, everybody was reassessing their lives and perhaps maybe not wanting to be, sharing an elevator with a ton of people. And there was some, the insurance deductible stuff with condos, and it was just, I think it was naturally a slower market because of what we were going through. But I think with the vaccines and the restrictions coming off, I think we're already starting to see it pick up. But the main thing right now is just there's hardly any inventory. So if you can, I think they are a little busier now because there's so few.
It actually leads me into my perfect number 8 question that I have for you, which is like, if you were advising somebody to buy or sell in today's market, like how would you explain what's going on in today's marketplace? I mean, COVID 2020 was a strange year. Very busy for us once we got past the initial lockdown. It got really busy.
So busy.
Inventory's down. But how would you, what's your approach with buyers or sellers right now?
I mean, it's so interesting because people have really had to just figure out how they want their lives to look. And, if you're working from home or if you even love your home.
Questioning whether you love your home.
like now I'm stuck at home. Do I even, all these, either do I want to renovate? You're just basically that maybe the 10-year plan now has become the 1-year plan. And so people were making, quick decisions. Like I personally ended up doing a lot of Gulf Island and Vancouver Island real estate because people were wanting to, ultimately they figured out I don't actually want to be in the city, or I want to diversify or buy that cabin that was the 10-year plan. But I do think that it's given us an opportunity to step up in our roles as well, and kind of because it is a tough time and people sort of need to have your realtor help you figure out what it is you really want to do. And so I think just strategizing, but also being prepared. It's money's cheap right now, inventory is low, there's all these moving parts and factors that are going on, and I think just being organized and but also being patient. And then in terms of, just in any market really, but how making sure that your home shows so perfectly and that you've got your ducks in a row. I think
those are all things I would say too. So I think, do we need to?
No.
Okay, sorry.
Are we good?
The question?
Can you describe the marketplace?
It's a hard
right
question.
Now? It is kind of hard. I mean, really, the question is I found it really difficult to explain to people what's happening in the marketplace right now. I mean, we know inventory is low, but it is kind of hard to explain to people that it's this lights out busy when we don't even have anybody other than a local market really being able to purchase here. There's a few that are figuring it out, but for the most part, it's all local.
Right.
So
I think, just to echo Katie's statements, it's be prepared, talk to your mortgage broker. For me, and I'm sure you do the same, is that we're really involved with that part of things as well. When we're doing, looking for homes and with buyers, it's really important to just be in communication with your mortgage broker. And, I know a couple that literally just will shoot your client's inbox, letting them know if it's the rates have gone down or whatever it may be, but being prepared and ready to go. I think right now, I'm already seeing multiple offers in the market on everything. Some really great condos, really priced product, also all the way up to single family, even luxury home. I think, wasn't it Cheryl and Tracy saying that they have multiple offers on an outrageous number right now?
They've had a couple of really high-end sales recently in the new year. And,
for sure. I think that market's product coming back, and land value and stuff like that too. So I think it's better to get into it as soon as possible than to be left behind in most cases. You know what I mean? So just get in there if you can, and just
get ahead of things, be a part of the pre-approval, and preparing your clients for like back to
all
it's
segments.
so strange. We all thought the world was coming to an end in March, and then all of a sudden it was just the Wild West again,
Yeah.
like in the middle
Pent
of
up
summer.
demand.
I think what
Pent-up
people
demand.
realize is that the home as an investment is the most secure investment
Right.
you can have.
Right.
Like,
Right.
what better investment can you have other than a place that you can lie on your couch and watch TV in?
Right.
Right?
Right.
I mean,
No,
you
I
can't do
agree.
that with the stock.
Yeah.
With it, you
No,
know,
for
like
sure.
so
Clearly
here
not
is
now.
some, that's a whole other conversation. But really, at the end of the day, people in their homes, spending time with their families, needing space. Where do they want to be? Do they want to be in the countryside? Do they have to go to work every day? I mean, everybody's sort of angles have changed.
Right.
Do you need a home office? Do you need more space? Less
Right.
space? Yeah. Or
Right.
do you even like your partner and your
Yeah.
like, how many people were busy?
Have a Peloton.
Yeah. Do you have a Peloton? Did you get a puppy?
Yeah, like all of those things, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
Yeah.
moving parts. I mean, I think this just solidifies the fact that real estate is, the most important investment most
For
people
sure.
have,
Yeah.
right? And so it's just I still have trouble describing to people what's happening in the marketplace.
It's hard,
I guess
yeah.
that's the thing,
Yeah.
I get that question all the time.
Just
And
get out there. Don't be afraid. Just go for it.
That's
Yeah.
actually exactly the right answer. Is like,
Yeah.
do I buy first? Do I sell first?
Yeah.
I don't know. Go
Yeah.
out there and start experiencing it, and then you get an idea of what you need to do, right?
And it's okay not to have all the answers sometimes too, right? You can
Yeah.
figure it out with them.
Let your instincts take
Yeah.
over. Trust your intuition. Hey, it does work. I'll tell you what. Okay, let's go. Question number 9. We were talking about the pandemic. Okay, a lot of things have changed in our business and the way we do business. What are some things that you think are going to stick around from the pandemic? And what sort of things that we're doing right now do you think are going to get out the door as soon as we can get back to normal? If we get back to normal.
I feel like Zoom calls are gonna stick around.
Yes.
Just
Yeah.
because it's just an easier format, and regardless of whether the vaccine or not, I think just people be convenient.
Convenience.
And
Yeah.
just being able to either be at your home, be at your office, be wherever, and not have to meet in person. All those things. I think that's going to stick around.
Mhm.
Sometimes I think all of us are zoomed out after it's back
Totally.
to back, but I think there will be a level of that. And to be honest with you, the fact that we can do everything digitally
Yeah.
right now is amazing. Actually,
Mhm.
it's actually just a new form of doing business. It's
Mhm.
just everything can be done
Yeah.
electronically and safe, and not have to worry
Paperless.
paperless.
I think
all
it
that.
saves a lot of time too. It weeds out the people who are just kind of looky-looing.
Yeah. Totally.
But
We were just talking though before we came in here. We were talking about how long we've been in the business,
yeah.
and we were both commenting on the fact that like when we first started, the MLS wasn't even on the internet for the
Yeah,
public to
right,
look at.
Right.
And then you take a look at how the speed of this market has gone, and everything's gone in technology.
Can you imagine?
And now,
Yeah.
like, we don't even have to leave our homes
Right.
to show property,
Yeah.
really.
Right.
I know.
And,
Yeah.
and that just changes everything, right? And so it's
Yeah.
about changing the process and getting
Yeah.
more used to things and getting used to being in front of cameras
Totally.
and getting our voice out like we are right now.
Yeah.
Everything's sort of changing, and so it's quite interesting.
Totally. I wonder what the lifespan of the open house is going to be.
Yeah.
And
I
not
agree.
only from like the agent's perspective, because some agents really don't like to do them for their
Yeah.
own reasons.
Others
Some
love
sellers
it.
don't. Others love it. But if
Yeah.
you think about like it's been way more work for us to have to structure the 15-minute. Like
Mhm.
it's so many more the logistics around it.
Right.
Not only for the open houses, but for all your showings and tours. But if you think about like back in the day when it was just insane and you would have like 30 people in a house at one time, like how actually beneficial is that for the seller and for the people
It's
actually
not.
experiencing the home? So I think that's a good thing. So however, opens are structured in the future, maybe we do stick around with the 15-minute segments.
Yeah.
Maybe
And then, and I
more
think
than one person
and
at a time.
maybe the
right,
the neighbors all coming to check out just for fun. It'll kind of just
Have a red velvet rope
Make-
at the front door and have a bouncer,
I
right?
think I know a realtor who
You have
does that.
security
I
at the
know
front
a
door to
realtor
let
who
people
does
in.
that,
Oh
actually.
really?
Oh.
boy.
Puts out the red carpet every open
Oh
house.
no.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
It works good for them.
If it works,
Yeah.
if it works.
Hopefully
That's okay.
masks and sanitizer and the waivers.
Well, the
can-
waivers would be nice to go
Oh
out the
my
door, wouldn't
gosh.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
So-
for sure. So
Yeah, you hope that after this, once we have the vaccine, what doesn't happen is that like the human connection sort of side of it, the shaking hands, the hugging.
Yeah.
Like our office is a whole bunch of huggers, right? So
Oh
I
my
know it's
gosh,
hard for us
yeah.
to,
Yeah.
not be kind of physically sort of
Yeah.
drawn to one another. And open houses are kind of the same thing. It's like you get put into
Totally.
a situation, into an environment where you're crammed in with everybody else, are people's perceptions going to just be nervous about what they could possibly catch the next time, even if we have a vaccine, right?
Right.
So that's what's most interesting to me. But I kind of agree with you. Zoom stays.
Right.
Yeah.
Like that's got to stay.
there.
That's very
Yeah,
convenient.
for sure.
Yeah.
Open houses, you know,
Who knows?
like we'll see.
We'll
I think
see.
their open houses are great for meeting people. I mean, I
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah.
But
True.
anyway,
Yeah.
any other thoughts?
No, it makes you think back in the day of like how many hands you shook in a day, and how much like you think back on that, and you're just like, how.
That's so
Don't
Yeah,
you don't
the
you
germs-
watch movies and TV shows now, and they're like from a few years ago,
And you're
and,
like,
then they sit
"Oh."
down together in a room, and you're like, oh, COVID.
Yeah, like-
you know,
That's
like,
it's making
everyone
me
just
awkward.
I'm like,
Yeah.
it's always like
The
oh.
hugging.
it's a weird. It's
Exactly.
weird to
It
think
is.
where we were at.
We're
here.
really like
Totally.
in the middle of like we're in the storm with that right now too. So
Right.
who's to know how?
Yeah,
the
we're
next
still
couple
in the
of
storm. Is that
Yeah.
what you're trying to
A
say?
little bit.
We're trying to remember. We're trying to remember that. Bonnie keeps telling us we're still in the storm.
Is that
so we
what
gotta,
she's saying? I don't
Oh yeah, we
know.
got to be
Mine-
careful. Yeah, it's got to stay
Oh,
careful
okay.
more than ever. I think
Yeah.
that's her new line.
That's
Right?
too funny.
Okay,
Oh,
so I sort of
God.
cheated on question 10 here a little bit. I'm going to do a
Okay.
rapid fire with each one of you,
Ooh,
and that's
yeah.
how we're going to finish it off. But there were so many
Okay.
little questions I thought would be a little bit more fun to ask. So
Okay.
who wants to go first?
You go, Tita.
Okay.
Yeah.
okay, I'm ready.
Okay, I'm just going to give it quick answers on these,
For
okay?
sure. Let's do it.
Preferred decor, heritage or contemporary?
Heritage.
Would you rather have a big house in the suburbs or a condo downtown?
Suburbs.
Would you rather live on a lake or on the ocean?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Ocean.
Ocean. Favorite artist or song that's on your playlist these days?
Sam Cooke.
Sam Cooke.
Yeah.
What show or series, sorry, pardon me, have you watched recently that you just have to recommend?
Vikings? I just
Vikings?
got into Vikings. and
Seriously?
boy, I just got into it.
I
Pandemic.
couldn't bring myself, but I thought about it.
It's really good. Yeah.
What book is currently on your nightstand?
Besides Ninja Selling or Selling, is that what
Selling
it's
Ninja?
called? Selling Ninja.
Ninja
Besides
Selling
that
is
one,
what it
yeah. It's Selling Ninja. What is it? Atomic Habits. Another
Oh.
really great one.
Oh, I haven't heard that.
Yes.
That's a good one.
Yes, it's really good.
Awesome.
Go for it.
One thing that you couldn't have lived without this past year.
My husband and my dogs.
Oh.
That sounds so cheesy, but yeah, true.
I
Yeah.
roll.
I will.
Her new
Yes,
Yeah, your new
Exactly.
husband. Yeah, you
New
actually,
husband.
that makes sense.
That's true.
When we can all travel again, where's the first place you want to go?
Okay, Danny's gonna hate me for this. Okay, is it Maldives or Maldives?
Maldives.
Okay, Maldives. That's where I'm going. He's always like, no, you're saying it wrong. That's where I'd go.
That's where you'd
Yes,
go?
Yes,
I think
that's, right.
that's a good choice.
Yeah,
That's
If you couldn't live in Vancouver, where would you live?
New York.
Oh, nice
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
And if you
City
were not a realtor, what do you think you'd be doing?
That's an interesting question. I feel like I would be an agent for like entertainment, like singers or
Like an actual
Talent
agent?
agent.
Yes,
So
talent agent.
still an agent.
Yes, still an agent.
Still an
Not a real
advisor.
estate one. You got it. Yeah.
Actually,
I
you'd be
feel
really
like-
good at
I
that,
could
actually.
see
Not
that.
that I want a career move for you or anything, but I can see you being really good
I
at
feel
that.
like it. Yes, an Ari Gold, if you will. Yes. That's
Yeah.
what I do.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks, Tita.
No, for
That's-
sure.
You ready, Katie?
Yeah.
You can do this? Now you've listened to the
I
answers,
know, I'm
so
like,
you
oh,
can't
yeah,
copy
what-
Tita's
Okay,
answers,
okay.
Preferred decor, heritage or contemporary?
Contemporary, but I would say like modern boho, if I'm being specific.
Modern boho it is.
Um,
Would you rather have a big house in the suburbs or a condo downtown?
Suburbs.
Oh, would you rather
Both.
live both? Yeah, one of each, please. Would you rather live on a lake or the ocean?
I would say the ocean.
Favorite artist on your playlist these days?
You know, I can't think
Or
of
song.
one specifically, but I mean, deep house and the slow jams, R&B are kind of what I'm.
That's what you're digging right
Yeah,
now.
yeah. New artists. I'm checking out new. I can never remember the names.
Yeah.
Spotify.
That's okay.
Yeah.
What show or series have you watched recently that you just?
I
have
really
to
liked
recommend?
Ratchet.
Ratchet
It was good.
I haven't even heard
Yeah.
of Ratchet.
Oh yeah, Sarah Paulson, and
Okay.
it's super
Oh.
good. You kind of have to get through the first 2 episodes because it's
Yeah.
a bit. The cinematography and style is a bit like out there, but
Yeah.
the story is good. It surprises you in the end.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah.
There you go. What book is currently on your nightstand?
The Middle Passage, actually. And Motorcycle Diaries that Nina
Okay.
gave to me years ago,
Yeah,
and I just
nice.
refound it, and I was like, I gotta read this, and then return it to her.
Oh.
10 years later.
I will not be handing you any books, I don't think. Unless
No,
I don't
yeah.
want them 10 years from now.
Yeah, I need to read more.
One thing that you couldn't have lived without this past year.
Oh my gosh. So The Peloton has been a great.
Oh, you have the Peloton.
I did get the Peloton, and also some like cooking gadgets because as much as I loved cooking before, like I even love it more now. So so kitchen stuff. And Peloton.
When you can travel again, where's the first place you're gonna go?
I would say Vietnam.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you been before?
No. I've done
always wanted to go to
the areas like Indonesia and Thailand and mainland.
That's
Thailand
the bucket
stuff,
list.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool.
Motorcycle through the rice paddies and the food and the culture. Yeah.
Okay, I'm starting to get the vision. I get it.
Right?
Yeah. If you couldn't live in Vancouver, where would you be?
Oh, I would probably say like Barcelona.
Maybe. I thought you were just going to say Vancouver Island.
Well,
yeah,
that's already happening.
San Diego.
Also,
San
Diego, totally San Diego. Well,
you got family down
there. That was
right?
my home away from home.
Exactly.
Before the pandemic.
Yeah. And if you weren't a realtor, what do you think you would be doing?
Okay, so I always wondered about this. I think I would either be in like some sort of design business, interior design, or like the fitness business.
Yeah.
But also thought that like law would be an interesting one. I like to argue.
Yeah, see, I always thought I'd be a good lawyer, but I don't think I'd like to study all this stuff.
No,
like
I'm
lawyers
not
have to do so much work. Like studying.
Totally.
I just don't know if I can do that part. But the arguing part, I agree. That'd be fun.
Like debating.
Yeah,
is great.
If you want, we could just go have debates. Just
I would love to.
I would forget to bow.
We've had a few debates. Yeah, that's true. That's awesome. Thanks, you guys.
That was great.
That was easy.
Thanks, Andrew.
Yeah. Thanks so much for coming on. We really appreciate it. Thanks for your insight. We all know how difficult this job can be and how unpredictable it's been over the last year. So getting to kind of hear where you guys are at and how well you've done. And of course, you're actual model citizens for all the other realtors that are out there as far as how you present yourselves and so on. And so I highly recommend that anybody who's listening right now that follow you guys on Instagram, and we'll make sure we add those posts or I guess the links to the bottom of the bio. And any last things you want to say or any closing comments?
I don't think so. Just that this has been fun.
Yeah.
And thanks all you guys.
Yeah, this has been fun.
A little nerve-wracking.
Hence the rosé.
Yeah.
A little rosé to start, and we're all good, right?
It goes a long way.
Awesome. No, thanks for having us.
Well, hopefully everybody who's listening enjoyed listening to us as well. And that was exciting. That was a fun 10 questions with Tita Cool
that was so
and Katie
fun.
Burkard.
Yeah, thanks, Andrew.
Thanks very much, you guys.
Guys.
Cool.
Awesome. Have a great day.
You too.
Thank you for watching today's episode. For more video content, please like, comment, and subscribe below. Thank you very much. See you later.